Okay. So last session we discussed some step related differences and all. You designing that example. You got that example. Everyone started designing that example. So once you design, you can upload into it. For offline people, tomorrow we have a test for job, not test for your talent checking. I don't want to waste time in that. So tomorrow we have, I already told you, mentors job. We are looking for mentors. For them, we have a interview. I will at the end of the session, I will give you a form. You have to fill up the form and attend that test. We will select people and place. Right tomorrow, we will have that. That is only for offline people. At the end of the session, I will give you the form. You can fill up it. So if you done it successfully, that means practically some test will be conducted. If you can do that, that's enough. We can place you in it. Now, you, by the way, you design this without interview also. I will select based on your exercises, what you have done. Okay, right. So after understanding all the concept of how do we work with bootstrap and all, now from today we have to start understanding and working with JavaScript. Start working and understanding with JavaScript. Yeah. Now so many technical things you need to know about JavaScript, because sometimes when we ask what you know about JavaScript, people have different ideas. Some are not correct about JavaScript, because when you ask what is JavaScript, above 95% people will give you an answer. It is a client side script. JavaScript is a client side script. That is not correct about JavaScript. So technically, what you know in general about JavaScript is different than exactly what it is. Actually, uh, JavaScript is JavaScript is lightweight, just in time JIT, just in compiled, interpreted, just in time compiled and interpreted language. JavaScript is lightweight, just in time compiled and interpreted language. That is the official definition of JavaScript from the people who built it. That means people who designed JavaScript, that is the definition from them. So, what is the meaning of this? It is lightweight language. Okay, lightweight means it will occupy less space and it will work faster. That's fine. What is meant by just in time and interpreted language? Actually, JavaScript have two techniques actually. So that means we have browser. Now we have JavaScript. JavaScript have two techniques actually. We have JIT technique, AOT technique, and interpreted technique. interpreted technique. So JavaScript works with these three techniques: interpreted, AOT, and JIT. Right? Right. So technically, what is difference between them? What is difference between AOT, JIT, and interpreted? Interpreted means what happens is interpreted means line by line translation. Line by line translation. Translation. That means you written 10 lines. All 10 lines are not translated at a time. So line by line, first line, second line, third line, that is called interpreted. Any programming language, if it says interpreted, interpreted means line by line translation. 100 lines are there, line by line translation will happen. That is called JavaScript works with that technique interpreted. JavaScript also uses JIT, just in time. Just in time means what happens is whatever the program you written, suppose you written some program. What happens is this program, this is the program in application. This program will load in browser and it will compile in browser. It will load in browser and it will compile in browser. Compiling means all lines translated at a time. If all lines are translated at a time, that is called compiled. One by one translated means interpreted. What are AOT and JIT? AOT and JIT are compilers. AOT and JIT, these two are compiling techniques. Compiling techniques. AOT and JIT, these two are compiling. What is JIT compiling means? JIT compiling is nothing but it will load the program into browser and compile in browser. That means where the program is compiled, the program is compiled in browser. So you developed one application, that application is using JavaScript. If anybody asks where JavaScript compiles, then JavaScript compiles in browser. If JavaScript compiles in browser, that is called JIT. But in some projects, what happens is JavaScript compiles in application itself. JavaScript compiles in the application itself, only the output is sent to browser. That means whether to compile in browser before going to browser compile. Two techniques JavaScript have. If you have to compile in browser, that is called JIT. And if you have to compile before it goes to browser, that is called AOT, ahead of time. Ahead of time. Latest technologies are using JavaScript with AOT technique, like Angular, React, all these technologies. They use JavaScript with AOT technique. AOT means ahead of time. JIT means just in time. Just in time. Actually, JIT interpreted. Interpreted is the process of translating line by line. Line by line. Interpreted is the process of translating line by line. Check your side, your right voice. Hearing is clear. Huh? Right. Right. Is it okay? Audible to everyone? Is it audible to everyone? Is it audible to everyone? Right. Uh, okay. Okay. Fine. Let's continue. Now it is okay. Check once. Right. Okay. So JavaScript is a lightweight, just-in-time compiled interpreted language. So what is meant by interpreted? Interpreted is the process of translating line by line. Translating line by line. Compiled is the process of compiled is the process of translating entire program. Entire program. So it can translate entire program in one attempt. That is called translate. Now it is okay. Check. Right. Voice is not audible. Huh? Can you check it? Right. Okay. Side. It okay to everyone now? Audible? Right? Is it okay? Right? Uh, Fine. Now it is okay na? No issues. I hope it is clear now. Okay. Right. Yeah. Let's continue. Now here, yeah. So what is meant by compiled programming language? Compiled means the process of translating entire program. Now JavaScript have two types of compiled. JavaScript have two types of compiled, JIT and AOT. What is difference between them is JIT is just in time. JIT is just in time. Just in time is nothing but so it is compiled in browser. It is compiled in browser. We have another technique called AOT. AOT is what? Ahead of we have ahead of time. Ahead of time is nothing but it is compiled. It is compiled at the application level. It is compiled at application level. Compiled at application level. Mm. So wait for a few minutes, then we will check what the problem in audio. Okay. Right. Okay. Is it okay now to everyone? Audible? Is it clear? Uh, yes. Yeah. Fine. Okay. Let's continue. Right. Okay. So now JavaScript have two types of techniques. Compiling techniques. Just in time compiling technique. Another one is ahead of time compiling technique. What is difference is just in time means the program compiled in browser, and ahead of time means the program is compiled in application level. So JavaScript three types means interpreted programming and compiled programming. In compiled again two types, just in time, another one ahead of time. So JavaScript is both compiled language as well as interpreted. So that is the first basic thing. Another important you should know is JavaScript is a language used to build used to build large scale applications, both client side client side and side also, client side and server side. Many people don't know this. That is the reason when we ask what is JavaScript, many times people give answer that JavaScript is client side. But actually, JavaScript is used, JavaScript is used client side, JavaScript is used server side, JavaScript is used in database. We use JavaScript database also. JavaScript is used in animations. Animations means it is used in 2D, 3D softwares. 2D, 3D softwares. So JavaScript is used everywhere. We have client side, we have server side, we have database, we have animations. So JavaScript is used with HTML. JavaScript is used server side with technologies like Node.js. JavaScript is used in databases like MongoDB. JavaScript is used in animations like Flash, 3ds Max, like that. So many softwares are there. So don't simply say that JavaScript is a client side script. So JavaScript is a larger language. So people generally, why they call JavaScript client side? Because they learned client side only. But as a full stack developer, you are going to learn JavaScript server side also. You are going to use JavaScript in database also. So that means for people who don't know complete knowledge of JavaScript, don't have idea, they think JavaScript is only client side. But JavaScript is used everywhere. Client side, server side, database, and even in animations. First, we are learning first JavaScript with client side. Later, we will see with server side and database also. That means now the question here is, what is the role? What is the role of JavaScript? What is the role of JavaScript? What is the role of JavaScript in front end? front end development. That means in front end development, what is the role of JavaScript? That means why we have to learn JavaScript with HTML. What is the role of JavaScript in front end development? What is its role? So that is the question actually. The answer for this is, if anyone asks why JavaScript is used with HTML, the main purpose is JavaScript is used, JavaScript is used client side, JavaScript is used client side to reduce burden on server, to reduce burden on. Actually, how it will reduce burden on server? It can reduce burden on server. It can reduce burden on server by handling interactions and validations client side, by handling interactions and validations client side. So script is used client side to reduce burden on server. I will explain what does that means. And generally when we ask what is the role of JavaScript client side, many people tell JavaScript is used for validation. That is only one part. JavaScript is used more than validation. Don't think that JavaScript is used only for validation, because many people who learn JavaScript, that is the definition given to them. That means at school, college level, when you learn JavaScript, they will tell you JavaScript is a client-side script. JavaScript is used for validations. But that is only a part of JavaScript. JavaScript is not a client-side script. It is more than it. JavaScript is a language. And JavaScript is used everywhere. And JavaScript is used client side to reduce burden on. What does that means? I will tell you. For example, suppose we have some database. So we have some database. Actually, database is stored in some database softwares like Oracle, like MySQL, like MongoDB. So many databases will be there. Server side, we will have application. That means, for example, so suppose we have a server side application, means usually server side application contains uh, technologies like PHP, JSP, Node.js, .NET. All these are used server side. What happens is, so you are having a client device. So we are having a client device. In this client device, what we are having is, so this is a client computer. On client computer, we are trying to interact with the data. What happens when you are interacting with the data? Okay. So what happens when you are trying to interact with the data client side? Here, one main problem is, generally, suppose in the database, they given some age is number type. Now, client side, we given a form to you. We given a form to you. In that form, you have to fill up the age. You are entering some details like some age is, you are entering some string. Then what happens is, this data is sent to the server. Server will send this to the database. database will reject. Why? Because it is expecting number and you sent a string. Then when database rejects, that message comes to server. Server will design a message and send that message to client saying that age is not correct. This is called validation. Now, actually, validation is happening server side, but if you can validation client side itself, then it is good. That means what you are doing, you are reducing burden on server. We are reducing the burden on server. Not only validation. This is validation. Okay. Not only validation. For example, you opened a ticket. You opened a ticket. Ticket related data comes from database, from server side, data will come. Now I have to print this ticket. Now printer is attached to whom? Printer is attached to client computer. Printer is attached to client computer. Now what happens is when I click print button, then this message will go to server. Server will verify whether printer is installed in your computer or not, and it will print. Why? Because printer is present in your computer, then you can verify here itself client side. That means we don't need to ask server to verify whether printer is installed or not. That means, is this validation? This is not validation. That means client side script is not only for validation. It is used for both as well as interactions. Lot of such interactions will be there. I just given only one example. Lot of such interactions will be there. For example, see, I will open a browser. This is Chrome browser. In this Chrome browser, I'm just giving an example here. In this Chrome browser, I want to log in into my Gmail account. Any email account, if you want to log in, they need a permission called permission for cookies. Cookies. We call cookies. Later you will learn about cookies. Actually, cookies are important to store your information in your computer. That means when you enter login details, your details will be maintained in a cookie. Cookie is nothing but stored in your computer. Now, if cookies are not allowed on your computer, remember, one browser can allow cookie, another browser will not allow cookie. It's browser wish. You can go to settings. You see Chrome :/ settings. In Chrome settings, I will search for cookies. After that, I will go to cookies, and here I will all cookies. That means I will not allow cookies to work, because cookies problem is they are virus carriers. That means through cookies, virus infection may come. That is the reason our browsers will give a facility to block the cookies. So I blocked the cookies for security reason. Then what happened? I opened Gmail. In Gmail, I have to log in. User ID. So I entered user ID and click on next. Then immediately Google people will give a message that cookies are disabled. Make sure that your browser, your cookies are enabled. Your browser has cookies disabled. That means now the question is how Google server knows that in my browser cookies are disabled. That means send my information to server. That is also done by client side script. That is also done by client side script. So client side script is not just for validation. Client side script is to do lot of interactions. So people who don't know all these, they generally give only one definition. JavaScript is used for validation. Script is not only for validation, it can do lot of interaction. In real time projects, we have to learn all of them. How to interact, how to handle, how to validate everything. So JavaScript is used client side for reducing burden on server. Reducing burden on server. Is JavaScript a client side script? JavaScript is a client side script? No. JavaScript is not a client. JavaScript is a language. Can we use JavaScript server side? Yes, we can use JavaScript both client side, server side. Some technologies use JavaScript server side also. Server side. Currently, we are using JavaScript client side. What is the role of JavaScript client side? To reduce burden on server. How it will reduce burden on server? By handling interactions, both clients, interactions and validations. Validation. That is the basic point. That is the basic point. So JavaScript is a language, and JavaScript language is used client side for handling interactions and validation. We can later use it server side and in database also, right? Now the question, this is basic about JavaScript. Now the question here is how this JavaScript came, evolution of JavaScript. I will give a simple basic history of JavaScript, means how the JavaScript concept came actually. First important thing you should know that when web started, that means before web, the first markup languages, the first markup languages were GML and SGML. When internet started, we used languages called GML and SGML. Actually, the first markup languages, the first browser, the first browser was Mosaic. Mosaic is the name of first browser. On that browser, we used languages called GML and SGML. Generic markup language, standard generic markup language. And for that browser, we used a language, scripting language. The scripting language was ECMA script. ECMA script was the scripting language in the first browser. ECMA is European Computer Manufacturers Association. ECMA script. Actually, ECMA script is considered as the mother of all scripts in the world. Every script in the world came from ECMA only. ECMA. So, the first scripting language used for internet was ECMA script, and it was used for a browser called Mosaic. After that, what happened is in 1990, Tim Berners-Lee, he introduced a language called HTML. He introduced a language called HTML, and all browsers started using this HTML. And the language for client side was ECMA only. Same ECMA continued. That means HTML is markup language, scripting language is Scripting language is ECMA. The same ECMA continued. After that, what happened is in the 1994, a company called Netscape, Netscape Communications. This company developed a browser. It developed a browser called Netscape Communicator. They developed a browser called Netscape Communicator. In the early days of internet, we used this browser called Netscape Communicator. It was very popular. I don't know from how many years you know internet, but when internet came in India in the early 1994-95 only, from 95 onwards, internet is there in India. People started knowing about internet and using internet. And do you know, so in Hyderabad and other location internet connection, we need a broadband line to come from Chennai. From Chennai, a broadband line comes to Hyderabad for internet. For all South India, the internet comes from Chennai broadband service. Virus, right? And I hope you know that in the early days, when internet started, 100 rupees per hour, right? 100 rupees per hour to use internet in the beginning days. And I hope you never used internet at that early days. And at that time, the browser was Netscape. And it is not free. We have to purchase. We have to purchase this browser and use it. So Netscape Communicator is a browser which we have to purchase and use it. This is Netscape Communicator. I'll show you here. Yeah. This is a Netscape browser. This is Netscape Communicator browser. This is the browser. That's how it looks like. And Netscape Communicator. This is the browser. This is the browser. And it started in the early 1994-95. In the early 94-95, this browser started. Browser looks like this. So in the beginning days, browser looks like this. And which markup language it uses? This Netscape also uses HTML. And which scripting language it uses? ECMA. But what happened is this HTML was rapidly developing. So many new things were added into HTML. This ECMA was unable to handle. That means ECMA was not designed for HTML. Then HTML was rapidly improving and ECMA unable to catch it. ECMA was unable to catch it. That's the reason in 1995, Netscape Communications company appointed a scripting expert to design a script for Netscape, browser. And his name, that expert name is Brendan Eich. Brendan Eich, we call him father of JavaScript. He developed JavaScript. Brendan Eich designed JavaScript. So Brendan Eich developed JavaScript. Very important is Brendan Eich is very popular. You know Mozilla Firefox. He is the architect of Mozilla browser. He designed that Mozilla Firefox browser. He is the CEO of Mozilla company for several years. Recently, he resigned from that, and he is now maintaining a group called MDN, Mozilla Developers Network. Mozilla Developers Network. He is the head of this community, and this community is contributing in so many softwares now. And MDN is the official resource for JavaScript. That means if you want to get official info about JavaScript, you will get from MDN. You will get from MDN. Anybody else writing, telling about JavaScript, anybody else may morph the topics, but these people, MDN is from the people who built JavaScript. That means a person who designed JavaScript knows better than anybody else in the world about JavaScript. So as a developer, you can visit this website, MDN. I will open here MDN JavaScript. This is MDN JavaScript. This is Mozilla. And see, this says JavaScript is lightweight, interpreted, just-in-time, compiled language. Who is giving this definition? The people who built it. That means says JavaScript is a client-side script. That is rubbish, because who built JavaScript, they are telling what it is. Right? That means all you people, what you know about JavaScript all these days is limited. Right? You think in a different way about JavaScript, but it is completely different. So many things are there. You will learn them. You will understand. Actually, Brendan Eich was appointed to develop a script browser, Netscape browser. And what he done is, he developed a script. He developed a script and given the name as Mocha. Mocha is the name of the script he designed. For which browser? Netscape. At that time, we have only Netscape as browser. And he developed a script for that, and it is called Mocha. After that, that's renamed as Live Script. After that, it was renamed as Live Script. First, its name was Mocha. After that, Live Script. And very important is, Brendan Eich developed this entire script. Do you know, he took only 10 days. In 10 days, he designed complete JavaScript. You will learn 1 month. Right? That is, he is very genius in scripting technology. And it was so fast that it was revolutionary at that time. That means he built that entire JavaScript. That means in those 10 days, whatever JavaScript he built, even today we are using it. Some additional extensions came, but the core JavaScript is same. Say core JavaScript is same. So Brendan Eich developed the script, but its first name was Mocha. After that, it was renamed as Live Script. Mocha and Live Script, these belong to whom? These belong to which company? Netscape. So Brendan Eich is only an employee who was appointed to build script. So JavaScript doesn't belong to Brendan Eich. He developed that script for a company called Netscape. And to Netscape. So we call him father of JavaScript, but he is not the owner of JavaScript. Owner is Netscape. But what happened is, he developed and given it. Then in 1996, Netscape was unable to maintain that script. because Netscape is a company which have browser. They are not specialized in language. Netscape company is not specialized in maintaining a language. They have only browser. They were not special in maintaining language. So whatever Brendan A given to them, they were unable to maintain it. They were unable to extend it. They were unable to make it more advanced. Then what they have done is Netscape, Netscape given responsibility of live script. They given the responsibility of live script to a company, to a company, to a company called to a company called Sun Microsystems. Sun Microsystems. To a company called Sun Microsystems. And do you know Sun Microsystems was very popular with their language called Java at that time. They were very popular with their language called Java. And because they are able to maintain a language called Java, Netscape given the live script responsibility to the same people. Then what Sun Microsystems done is they changed the name to JavaScript. There is no relation between Java and JavaScript. Only name. If anybody asks why it is called JavaScript, there is no relation at all. There is no relation at all. There is no relation between Java and JavaScript. Then why it is called JavaScript? Because in the beginning days, it was maintained by the same people who maintained Java. That is the reason they named it as JavaScript. Other than that, nothing. Other than that, nothing. Why? Because if any new script comes into market, we will not use it until we know who is behind it. Right? There are so many technologies in the world. Why people are running behind Angular and React? Like Angular and React, so many technologies are there. Like Angular and React, so many technologies are there. Why people are behind Angular and React only? Why people are behind Angular and React only? Why not others? Because Angular is supported by Google. React is supported by Facebook. That means very big people are behind it. That means now we have confidence. As a developer, what is the confidence for us? If any problem comes, how it will be solved? Who will solve? Right? If any problem comes and somebody is unable to solve that problem, then that applies in between. That means now what is the confidence? What is the confidence? The confidence is that big people are behind it. Google is behind it. So I am confident that if any problem will come, Google like people are behind it means they will take care. That means any bugs, any issues will come, they will take care. That is one of the main reason to make some technologies popular. Some technologies are popular because of their, it's not like that they are only the technologies. In real world projects, other than React and Angular, we use lot of technologies like Backbone JS, Knockout JS, Ember JS, Vue JS. We use lot of things. Currently we have jobs on them also. But out of those, more popular is these because of their background. So why it is called JavaScript? Just because it is by maintained by Sun Microsystems, who have a language called Java. That is only the point. But what happened is, up to this it's okay. Up to this it is okay. So designed by whom? Designed by whom? Designed by Brendan Eich. Designed by Brendan Eich. So and designed for Which one? Netscape, designed for Netscape and maintained by whom? Maintained by Sun Microsystems. Sun Microsystems. That was the concept. But what happened is in 1998, Microsoft developed an operating system called Windows 98. They developed an operating system called Windows 98 specially for internet. Every Windows version have its own abilities. So if I ask what is the specialty of Windows XP, you don't know. You don't know. Just you are using it. That's it. If I ask what is the specialty of Windows 7, Windows 8, 10, why you are using different versions of Windows? Actually, every version have different abilities. We will not waste time in that as of now. Just overview, I will tell you. Do you know Windows XP introduced a concept called plug and play? Plug and play. Before Windows XP, I am using a computer or a laptop. Suddenly mouse not working. I remove the mouse and attach new mouse. It will not work. I have to restart my computer. That is the beginning days. In the beginning days, I am using a computer, suddenly keyboard not working. I detached the keyboard, attached a new keyboard. It will not work. You have to restart computer. Windows XP with a concept called plug and play. That means you just push it. It is ready to use. You just plug it. It is ready to use. That is where USB became popular. Right? You just pin it, plug it, it will start using. So that is the specialty. Windows 98 was specially designed for internet. What they have done is they given a free browser. You know, its name is Internet Explorer. Earlier, people have to buy this Netscape browser. Now we have a free browser. Then what happened is everybody migrated to this. And later, some more browsers came by name Opera, by name Safari. So these are all free browsers. Now, when free browsers came, Netscape stopped. That means what Netscape have done in the year 2000, Netscape stopped its services. Netscape stopped its services because nobody was purchasing. But Netscape have very popular language with them. What is that language? JavaScript. And very important, all these browsers need JavaScript. Then what happened is Netscape stopped its services. They stopped JavaScript. And given this JavaScript not to Sun Microsystems, they given to ECMA. Again, ECMA is the first script. That is the company. So right, who is the standards? And they given this JavaScript to ECMA. Then what ECMA done is it kept JavaScript with them, but they were not maintaining it. They just kept JavaScript with them, but they were not maintaining it. Then what happened? Every browser, means Internet Explorer, Safari, all these browsers need JavaScript. They want JavaScript, that is fine. And ECMA was not developing it. and HTML in other side developing very fastly, then what happened is every browser started its own extensions. Every browser started its own extensions to JavaScript. Every browser started its own extensions to JavaScript. Then JavaScript became like mixture. Then due to that, what happened is lot of incompatibility issues started. That means every browser started extending JavaScript in its own way. Due to that, what happened? In one browser, JavaScript works in one way. In another browser, it cannot. That is the reason you have already seen that problem. Suppose we have a date picker. We can see the date calendar picker in Chrome, in Edge, but it is not available in Internet Explorer. You remember, na? Now the question is, if HTML is same, if JavaScript is same, why it is not working on that browser? That means every browser have its own extensions. Due to that, what happened? Compatibility issues started. Browser compatibility issues. Compatibility issues started. Then what happened is, to reduce these compatibility issues, actually ECMA with the help of MDN. MDN is Mozilla Developers Network, right? The people who built JavaScript, Brenda and Ake, they started maintaining JavaScript. And they started releasing Java as version ES5, ES6, ES7, like that. That means JavaScript version is ES5, ES6, ES7, and the latest version of JavaScript is ES 2020. 2021 also there. Latest version of JavaScript is 2021. Very latest version of JavaScript is 2021. That means JavaScript version is ES. That means you are learning JavaScript, means you are learning ES. Understood? ES latest versions. Whatever latest versions are there, I will tell you what are the versions. Many people don't know this. Then they ask like, sir, after teaching JavaScript, will you teach ES also? What is that question? JavaScript is ES. Understood? What is ES? JavaScript version. JavaScript version is not like JavaScript 1, 2, 3. JavaScript versions are ES. That means if you have learnt JavaScript, then in your resume, you mention JavaScript with version as ES7, ES8, like. Actually, mentioning ES7, ES8 is enough. Mentioning ES7, ES8 is enough. But what is problem is, in Naukri sites, you may be thinking that Naukri site official, but in Naukri site, generally job opportunities are uploaded by a HR person. That HR person don't know anything. He don't know anything about software, right? But he uploads job opportunities on software, because the project manager, project lead will tell that, please get these people from Naukri site. We want urgent these developers. Then he will tell the qualification that we need people with JavaScript, ES, and all these things. Then what HR will do? According to that, he will design the opportunity details and he will upload into Naukri site. That is the reason many times on Naukri site you will see even spellings also wrong. You can observe that spellings also wrong. You may be thinking like Naukri like site spelling wrong. right? Of course, it may be. Why? Because many times, see, many times on Naukri site, these job opportunities. So Naukri site, you see, this is the Naukri. I am saying full stack web developer. I am searching for full stack web developer, and you see, lot of opportunities comes here. You see, so many options are there. So JavaScript, and everywhere you see here the concept. They will ask here, you see, they will ask here JavaScript, right? Everywhere they are asking JavaScript. They are asking JavaScript. Everywhere they are asking JavaScript, web technologies, JavaScript, Node.js, and some people even don't know how to write Node.js and React.js. This is not the right way of writing Node.js or React.js, right? But we don't have any complaint on that. Why? Because they say Vue, Code Igniter. This is not how Code Igniter is written, Vue is written, right? These are HR people. We will not complain on them because they don't know this concept about APIs and all these things. That is the reason you will see lot of problems in this. Lot of problems in this, right? In that case, what happens is, generally you will see JavaScript is mentioned. Let's check here. I will give here ES5 or ES6 like that, and you can see here web developer ES5, ES6. So very rarely you will see any requirement, but actually ES5, ES6 is nothing but it is the version of what? JavaScript only. That is the reason you see, especially they are asking ES6, and they are giving JavaScript also. They are giving JavaScript also. See, Next.js. What is it? That is Next.js actually. See the spelling, right? That is the reason many times people complain that, sir, my resume uploaded, currently market is very good. You said, my friend said, but calls are not coming. Why? Because your resume is not proper. If there is problem in your resume, calls will not come. Not about your skills, about what you mentioned in resume. What you mentioned in resume. Do you know, if you mention that I have ES6 knowledge, or I say ES8, I know ES8, then what happens is these HR people will download your resumes. Do you know they buy your resumes? You freely upload the resume, that HR people download your resumes. What they will do, they will see letter by letter. In this person resume, JavaScript not there. Something yes he is saying. That means he is not qualified. Then your resume put down separate. That means you are ignored. That means these HR people don't know. Due to that, you will miss opportunities. That's the reason what we do. We write JavaScript, ES5, ES6, ES7. Some people write 1 to 10 version, everything. Because anything will match with that HR guy. Headache with these people, right? So you see, sometimes they will write Angular 2 to 10 version. Why you need 2 to 10 version? One version is enough. You learn the advanced version, it's okay. But you will see 2 to 10 version, everything. Because headache with these HR people. They can't understand the technology, they don't know the technology, but they filter the people for interviews. Due to that, if your resume is not understandable to the HR's requirements, then you will miss opportunities. That is the reason people have an habit of writing JavaScript, ES, and all these things. But actually, ES is the version of JavaScript. And currently, we are going to learn ES. Companies are using ES up to 7 only. But we will learn ES8. we will see ES8 and we will see the latest also. But latest is very advanced, not required for you as of now because still it is updating. So we will better learn ES8, that is too much. Why? Because currently companies are still using ES6 or 7. ES8 we will learn, that is enough. In ES8 what is there, if you can understand, that is enough to deal with advanced options. Okay, so which version of JavaScript we are going to learn? ES8. ES8, that is the version. Now what is the problem in JavaScript? What is the problem in JavaScript? The problems in JavaScript issues, we have to learn about the problems. That means what is the problem in JavaScript, what is the solution? In the solution only you will hear about a concept called TypeScript. I will give you idea of both TypeScript and JavaScript, we will discuss, right? But why TypeScript? What is problem with JavaScript? What is jQuery? What is JavaScript? We have to know. That means we have to understand issues with JavaScript. What are the problems with JavaScript? Once you know the problems with JavaScript, now we can know the solution and we can start working. That we'll see tomorrow, right? In tomorrow's session, we will start practical working with JavaScript. Today I just given you introduction about what is JavaScript, right? Tomorrow we will see practically working with it. How do we set up? How do we install? How do we work with environment required for JavaScript? Okay, tomorrow we'll see. Huh?